we're molding this into an SEO ecosystem, which is similar to what people have talked about in the past, but it's with a renewed focus on understanding that AI is not just grabbing from one particular place. It's looking at a more
Mhm.
holistic view of a brand, an attorney, a law firm. So we're going to talk
Yep.
about that a little bit today. Hey, everybody, it's Alan and Victoria. We are the co founders and operators of Blue 7 Content. I hope everybody's having a great day today. Victoria, you are in San Antonio. What are you doing?
Yes. So I am in San Antonio at the Wealth Council Symposium 2025. So that mouthful means that I am at in an estate and elder law conference. There is nowhere quiet, so I finally found this like sequestered in this little like room with very low tables, which is why I'm sitting on the floor and you can see the chair behind me.
Uh, yeah, and for reference, this has been her office this week. This is where we did our presentation yesterday.
Yes,
So
let's talk about our presentation yesterday.
yeah, absolutely. So we had Cassidy Lewis, a friend of ours, invited us to give a 1 hour presentation to a PILMMA roundtable. It was a blast. We hope they invite us back. Hopefully they liked us enough. But we had a blast, and I really loved the interaction. And we went in with some ideas of what we wanted to talk about. We got some great questions, of which we'll probably cover over a few videos because we got a lot of good ideas and helped us clarify some areas where there may be some confusion about what this part of the industry does and what it's supposed to do and how to do it, especially since everything's changing so fast. And that change is kind of what we talked about, but we also are formulating ideas and pushing this big, and I say this flippantly sometimes, but everything is SEO. But we're molding this into an SEO ecosystem, which is similar to what people have talked about in the past, but it's with a renewed focus on understanding that AI is not just grabbing from one particular place. It's looking at a more
Mhm.
holistic view of a brand, an attorney, a law firm. So we're going to talk
Yep.
about that a little bit today.
Yeah, I love it. I remember having this conversation like months ago. It was probably the turn of the year, and our goal for our brand and us was like everything everywhere at once, right? Like that was kind of the main message that you and I were pumping ourselves up with.
Right.
And as we developed that and really put focus and intention into our social media, into this YouTube channel, we're starting to reap these benefits, even with our own platform and seeing our names pop up in different LLMs, in even different places on LinkedIn, right? Like we're kind of seeing the benefit of doing this. And I think because of that, we're able to identify this so-called ecosystem, correct? Like how you can define your ecosystem, best ways to utilize SEO content, which is what we do, and how you can disperse that to your ecosystem as well.
And when we say SEO is everything, and we talked about this yesterday, Cassidy brought it up, you know, SEO has been so inextricably linked to Google, right? Everybody has been playing by Google's rules for so long, and I am not going to say that that's not what everybody's still doing. Google is still the giant
Correct.
gorilla in the room, right? But things are evolving. It would be naive for anybody to think that it's always going to be one platform. It was never always going to be one platform. And you shouldn't have been playing by the one platform rule anyway. And I think maybe we did a decent job of not doing that because we kept up with a lot of our socials, even though they weren't indexed at the time. We just wanted to make sure we were seen as
Correct.
being present and an active company. Because one of the worst things you can do is start something and then let it die. Like if you start a blog as a law firm or particular social media for a law firm, and then it just dies, and someone lands there
Yeah.
thinking they're looking for you, and they land on you on Google. They're like, okay, maybe I'll try them, and then they get to your stuff, and it's just not there. That's not a good look. It's maybe not intentional. No one has the intention of starting
Yeah.
something and letting it go, but it happens. And
Mhm.
when we talk about the ecosystem, what we mean is we obviously know SEO is Google search results. Like that's what everybody thinks. But LLMs are scraping from different places. And we will say that different LLMs have a different focus and where they draw from, but they're not just looking at the search results. You kind of have to show up everywhere intentionally. And when we talk about the SEO ecosystem, and this doesn't include just online, I think there's power in SEO offline in a way
Yep.
that it contributes to your online presence and vice versa. Everything should work together for your law firm and brand. If you're not a law firm, just any business, the whole thing has to be consistent and authentic.
I
Now,
think, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your thought. Go for
oh,
it.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, it was silly. I just started watching Stranger Things
Good job.
because my niece is watching it. And just with you when you were saying like dark social, which is just like your real life, real world stuff, I just was like imagining like the upside down world, how like you have,
Oh, in the upside
you
down.
know, like the social media and then the upside down is like reality. But yeah, I was just it feels like that right now. But
um,
yes, so
well, when we look at different, when we're talking about an SEO ecosystem, it's website, social media, and I almost put LinkedIn a little bit to a separate bracket than regular social media because you behave differently on LinkedIn. It's for a different audience, I think, especially if you're an attorney.
correct.
Consumers aren't necessarily going there to look for you, but it's still valuable for your overall brand and referral game. And if you want to grow eventually, it's a smart place to pre-plan your scaling. AI is scraping different areas, and then your community engagement is huge, and your reviews, not just your Google reviews, because as Cassidy talked about yesterday, Yelp is back into favor in some places when AI is
Mhm.
getting results for you. And, a lot of people neglected Yelp because it really didn't matter that much for Google. Not that,
Well, I right.
but
It wasn't I think it was because Google started competing with its own review system and was able to take that online real estate over, with its own review system. But the thing about AI is that it doesn't favor any one thing over the other. It just wants it all, like this giant vacuum, you know? Whereas the Google that we've been writing for did have preferences for where things were, and how things were indexed. And it can and does penalize. What I know so far about the data scraping of AI, there really is no preference at this time, I don't think, other than it will produce more if you give it more, in the sense that if you have multiple channels of communication, including your website and your social media, then it will see you as a more pronounced figure versus if you just have the one avenue, right? Then it's not as much.
yeah. And you can't, the days of, you could be successful by choosing one or two platforms and running with it strongly. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. You always double down on what's working. Figure out what's working and
For
double
sure.
down, and then,
Yeah.
then branch out. But any firm that wants to have any kind of growth beyond referrals has to have some kind of strategy, and that strategy has to go beyond adding content to a website. It has to go beyond just flooding your social media. It has to
Yeah.
encompass this whole ecosystem. But here's the thing, and this is where I think people make a mistake. Well, and we already mentioned it a little bit, the consistency. That's a huge mistake if you fall
Yeah.
off. If you're going to start it, you need to have a method and a system in place to keep it consistent. And this one is equally as important, authenticity. Consistency and authenticity, because if you're showing up not as you, or if it's just generic posting, which we see a lot of, on LinkedIn, on regular socials, a lot of law firms will get these packages with these. Maybe it's their marketing company, maybe it's a specialized social media company. They get 3 posts a week. It's a Canva, generic blurry picture of a car accident, and it says something,
Yeah.
call us now. That to me is not an effective social media game. Just putting stuff up to have it up might not be the best use. We have been trying to talk to our clients and talk to the internet about using the content that you already pay for, that's quality content, and then finding a way to make a piece of content become something that's valuable throughout your ecosystem. So, do you want to talk a little bit about maybe ways that they can do that?
So, the ways in which you can incorporate what you have, these kind of like bite-sized pieces for your ecosystem. So, for example, shamelessly plug our stuff. So at Blue Seven, we have this product called a focal point. And the focal point is can be a very niched down researched topic. It can be an in-depth review of a area of law that you are in, and the writers that we have on staff are attorneys themselves, paralegals, really effective researchers. So you're getting this high quality piece of content, usually 2 to 3,000 words. And what a lot of people do, or what we've kind of been trained to do, is take the content that is given to us, put it on our website, and then never touch it again. The same with, like, something on LinkedIn or Instagram. You make an image, you throw it on Instagram, you never touch it again. Well, we are here to dispel that myth. We are here to tell you, reuse it. Reuse, 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 recycle, reuse. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. So what our clients do and how we consult our clients with it is we provide them this focal point page, and we go through the page with them, and we're able to highlight and indicate which parts that they like more, or what's coming out to them, and that's what they can use to insert it into their LinkedIn, insert it into an X post, or or the Instagram, like on your other channels that you have.
Right.
And you can rewrite that in so many different ways. You can attach an image to it, which is what we do too. You could do a short video clip on it if you want, and we can provide scripts for that too, or we can consult you on how to do that. But I think for for the next kind of wave of content coming in, because SEO is not dead, it's not going anywhere. I think it's really about how are we repurposing the information that we already have? How are we reusing it over and over again so that we are not exhausted of material? Our viewers are not exhausted of material. I mean, you have to think, when someone sees your one post, they're never going to see it again. So, what is the harm in reusing it again in like a week and a half? And even if the same viewer views it, it's not that they're gonna be like, "Oh gosh, they repeat themselves." It's gonna be more like a reinforcement
Well, Ron
of
does that.
the
Ron will post things, he'll space things. He'll take his best posts that were in like 6 months later, change it up a little bit, but it's the same idea posted again. Because if the content works and you get leads from it, why would you discard that and never use it again?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
makes no
it's
sense.
true.
So, and when we're saying, like, if you're paying for a focal point, which they are more expensive, but even just a basic SEO page is going to have value beyond just being on the website. And like Victoria just said, we take that one, let's say you pay $300 for a really solid, good page, and you know it's going to do well online, then don't let that be the only place. You turn that
Yep.
into your newsletter, whether that's a physical or an email newsletter for your email list.
Yeah.
For, you can make a long post into 10 social media posts, format them differently.
Mhm.
Uh, Video scripts, as you said, we don't want you to waste money, honestly. If you don't have to, if you
Yeah.
don't have to spend money on this, don't. We know that everything is a dollar, and
Yep.
we want to make the content as effective as possible. And I firmly believe that we can take advantage of this new world of search, AI, by focusing on reusing, making this content ecosystem. And I think that's where people can have a lot of success. We'll see where it goes over the next year or two, but I think that we're on the right track. And I think this is what we're going to see from more companies.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And if you're someone who is like, you have a tough budget, you wanna get those pages, you wanna make your website more robust, because I still think that's a good place to start. With your branding, this is a way for you to then take that piece of information and reuse it and recycle it in other areas, and without having to spend extra money on figuring out like what to write. So yeah, I think
Perfect.
overall this ecosystem is a wave of increased visibility, and using a piece of content is a really nice shortcut to getting yourself more posts.
That's it. Hey, folks, that's all we have for you today. If you want to like and subscribe, we finally cracked that 20 subscriber point. I'm so happy. Like, y'all don't even
Like and
understand. I know we have very few
subscribe.
subscribers, but every single one makes me happier. A preview of what
Makes
we
me
have
too.
coming up in the next couple months. Victoria and I are working on an ebook and some lessons to help attorneys figure out how the hell to get in front of video for the first time. So, anyway,
Yeah.
we're looking forward to that. We love you all. Thanks. Have a good day.